The world of K-pop thrives on moments that blur the lines between performance and raw emotion, but nothing has sent shockwaves quite like Jungkook's recent confession about his feelings for Taehyung. What began as a calm and ordinary live stream suddenly spiraled into one of the most unforgettable and emotional moments in BTS history. Fans across the globe are still reeling, replaying every second, dissecting every word, and struggling to believe what they witnessed as Jungkook laid his heart bare before millions. For years, ARMY has adored the bond between Jungkook and Taehyung, often calling it one of the purest and most heartwarming aspects of BTS. They laughed together, teased each other relentlessly, shared deep conversations, and gave fans countless moments that turned into legendary clips. While some brushed it off as simple friendship or fan service, others always believed there was more. Jungkook and Taehyung's connection carried an intensity and warmth that felt different, and though both idols never directly addressed it, the speculation lived on. Until now. During the live stream, Jungkook began lightheartedly, answering fan questions, humming songs, and smiling at the scrolling chat. The atmosphere was typical, warm, playful, and filled with love. But when questions about Taehyung began filling the chat, Jungkook grew noticeably quiet. At first, he chuckled, as if brushing the topic aside, but then something shifted. His fingers tapped nervously against the desk, his eyes softened, and for the first time, he looked like someone carrying a truth too heavy to hide any longer. Then came the words that silenced the fandom. Honestly, I've kept this inside for a long time, but I think it's time I say it. Taehyung means more to me than anyone will ever understand. He's the person who makes me feel like myself. The air in the room froze, and so did millions of armies watching from around the world. Jungkook's voice trembled slightly, but his expression was firm and sincere. It wasn't a joke, it wasn't fan service, and it wasn't a careless slip. It was a raw, vulnerable confession, an unguarded truth from someone who has always carried the weight of perfection on his shoulders. Within seconds, the live stream was clipped, replayed, and shared across every platform imaginable. Social media exploded. Hashtags like hashtag Jungkook confession and hashtag Taehyung is real began trending worldwide, and fans described the moment as one that gave them goosebumps, tears, and an overwhelming rush of emotion. For many, this confession felt like validation of something they had always believed. For others, it was a gentle but shocking reminder that even idols who live under blinding spotlights have emotions that run deep, unfiltered, and human. Across the fandom, one question echoed louder than the rest. How would Taehyung respond? Taehyung has not given a direct statement since Jungkook's words, but armies insist his silent responses are just as loud. During a fan event days later, fans noticed his lingering smiles when glancing Jungkook's way, the softness in his eyes, and the unspoken warmth in his body language. To some, it was his way of saying everything without uttering a single word. To others, it was a sign that he was taking his time, waiting for the right moment to respond with the depth and clarity only he can bring. Whatever the case, the silence only deepened the suspense, keeping the fandom on edge as they waited for what might come next. This moment is not just about two people, it's about what it represents. In an industry where idols are often pressured to maintain a flawless image, Jungkook's confession broke boundaries. It wasn't carefully scripted or polished, it was real. He chose vulnerability over expectation, honesty over silence, and in doing so, he gave millions of fans courage to believe in love in all its forms. BTS has always been about authenticity and human connection, and this confession simply became another testament to their legacy. The future remains uncertain. Will Taehyung openly respond? Will this confession shift the dynamics of BTS as a group? Or will it remain a deeply personal truth between two people who have grown up together through a decade of fame and hardship? Whatever the outcome, one thing is certain. The bond between Jungkook and Taehyung has already etched itself deeper into history. Whether through words, silence, or a simple glance across the stage, the two share a connection that is unshakable and undeniable. As ARMY processes this revelation, their role becomes more crucial than ever. True love for idols means respect, support, and patience. Jungkook's courage deserves celebration, but it also demands sensitivity. He has already given a piece of his soul to the world, and now it is the world's turn to respond with kindness, not pressure. Jungkook's confession about Taehyung will forever be remembered as one of the most iconic and vulnerable moments in K-pop history. It wasn't just about two idols. It was about truth, love, and the bravery it takes to admit what's in your heart. And as fans replay those trembling words over and over again, one thing remains crystal clear. This was not just a shocking confession. It was a moment of humanity etched in time that will live in the hearts of ARMY forever. The confession may have come from Jungkook, but the world's attention has now shifted to Taehyung. After that unforgettable moment when Jungkook bared his soul in front of millions, ARMY was left suspended in silence, waiting for Taehyung's response. Days passed, then weeks, yet no direct words came from him. But silence doesn't always mean absence. Sometimes it carries more meaning than speech, and for those watching closely, Taehyung's quiet gestures were beginning to paint a story of their own. At a fan event shortly after Jungkook's confession, ARMY noticed subtle but undeniable signs. Taehyung's eyes lingered a little longer on Jungkook, his smile stretched wider, and there was a softness in his demeanor whenever the two crossed paths. Fans replayed fan cams over and over, swearing they caught him gazing at Jungkook in a way that spoke louder than any words ever could. Every look, every movement was analyzed and shared, fueling the fire of speculation that Taehyung had already answered, just not verbally. Then came the night that sent fans into a frenzy. During a concert rehearsal, Taehyung was caught on a mic test humming a tune that fans instantly recognized. It was a melody Jungkook had once written during a live stream, a song he said was too personal to release. The fact that Taehyung was humming it, almost absent-mindedly, was seen by many as a message, a secret reply to Jungkook in the language only the two of them understood. The clip went viral, with fans calling it Taehyung's silent love letter. But the real turning point happened during BTS's next live stage. Midway through the performance, Jungkook and Taehyung shared an interaction that froze the entire arena. Jungkook reached out his hand during the chorus, and instead of the usual playful exchange, Taehyung took it, held it firmly, and for a few seconds, neither let go. The crowd erupted, screaming as if they all knew they were witnessing history. Cameras caught Jungkook's faint smile and Taehyung's steady gaze, a moment so brief, yet so explosive that it became the #1 trending clip of the night. For ARMY, these gestures are not coincidences. They are pieces of a larger puzzle, a response not through words, but through action. Some fans believe Taehyung's decision to remain silent verbally is deliberate, a way of showing that some things are too sacred to be reduced to statements. Others argue that his actions are his response, subtle but powerful, proving that he doesn't need to say, "I feel the same," because he already shows it every single day. What makes this continuation fascinating is not just the romantic undertone, but the courage it represents. Jungkook's confession cracked open the door, but Taehyung's quiet acknowledgement holds just as much weight. Together, they are rewriting the expectations of what idols can and cannot say, reminding the world that behind the perfection are two humans who share a bond too deep to be ignored. As time moves forward, ARMY continues to watch, speculate, and celebrate. Some believe that Taehyung is waiting for the perfect moment to give his own vocal confession, perhaps during a solo project or another live stream. Others are convinced he has already given his answer through his heart, his music, and his gaze. Either way, the story of Jungkook and Taehyung has taken on a life of its own, a narrative that fans will carry with them as one of the most beautiful, raw, and iconic chapters in BTS history. But beyond the speculation, one truth remains undeniable. The confession and the silent response have united ARMY in a way few events ever have. Fans feel as though they are witnessing something bigger than themselves, a story that transcends idol and fan, performance and reality. It's not just about whether Taehyung speaks. It's about the fact that Jungkook had the courage to confess and that Taehyung, in his quiet way, has embraced it. This continuation isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new era in their journey, an era where emotions aren't hidden but acknowledged, where vulnerability isn't weakness but strength. And as the world waits for what happens next, one thing is certain. Jungkook's Taehyung's story has already carved its place in the hearts of millions. If you've been captivated by this unfolding story and can't wait to see how it evolves, make sure you stay connected with us at Drama Spark. We bring you the latest emotional deep dives, breaking news, and the stories that keep your heart racing and your eyes glued to the screen. Don't miss out on what comes next in this breathtaking journey. Hit that subscribe button now and join our growing family of fans who live and breathe these unforgettable moments. Your support helps us bring more stories, more updates, and more of the heart-stopping drama you love. So click subscribe, share this with your fellow ARMYs, and keep the spark alive with us. The story is only just beginning.